advocate for women and children, Princess Laws. I now invite our host for this evening, the Honorable Olivia Grange, OJCD MP, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, to deliver.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can see this is a great occasion to meet and greet, and the Prime Minister is getting around. But I would like to first acknowledge the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, and ask you to please give him a big round of applause for finding the time to be here with us tonight. I also want to acknowledge my colleague ministers, Honorable Nigel Clark, and he's my very good friend, very special friend. And of course, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is she cheers me on. And she will, we do our little plan, and she nabs somebody here and nabs somebody there until we get what we want. And of course, I want to acknowledge so many persons here tonight who are very special. You're all very special. You're all very distinguished, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why you're all very special because you've all bought tickets. Some of you have bought tables. I don't think there is one person in this room who has received a complimentary ticket. And I really want you to applaud yourselves. So I won't take all the credit. I'm going to ask the Women's Center Foundation Board members to stand and be acknowledged. Chairman Debbie Ann Brown-Salmon, and she's been the board chair from 2016. And Debbie lives and breathes the mission that she has been given. She's an attorney by profession. And then I'd like to acknowledge Lennox Turner, a very dedicated professional who, as a new appointee to the board, has brought a lot of connections, and I really want to thank him. The youngest member of the board is everybody's baby. Is Daniel Wong. And he has contacts in high places, and that's why he's on the board. Some of the high places I won't tell you. And then there's a lady who makes sure that everyone is blessed, Reverend Owens. And she really, every event we have, she prays. And every board meeting, she prays. And I want to thank her for her blessings. And of course, Janice Levy, who is the chair of the committee that organized this event. I don't want you to give her a really special round of applause. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, you know a man, they call him Titus. And he's always on television. And he's a star of all these live theater that you're introduced to, Glenn Campbell. He was responsible for the music, the entertainment, and just giving moral support to everybody else. He was the calmest member of the team. When everybody else was going crazy, he was very calm, and he just laughed at everything. So I want to thank Glenn. Did I leave out anyone? And of course, Novelet, who was a member of the board. She's now the acting ED. Please give her a big round of applause. And I want to thank Minister Clark for making her available to us. And of course, the head of the Bureau of Gender Affairs, Mrs. Sharon Coburn Robinson. She's on the board, and I know she doesn't mind me saying this. She was one of the first graduates of the Women's Center. And she now runs the gender machinery for the government of Jamaica. So I think I've acknowledged all the members of the board, and I really want to thank you for doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much. So I will quickly go through my presentation because I'm looking forward to the Prime Minister speaking tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my colleagues, tonight we have come to celebrate the unwavering determination, indomitable strength, and unyielding perseverance of young adolescent mothers, but most importantly, the success of a 45, almost 46-year-old organization. An organization that has served our teen mothers over the years by providing them with a second chance, by allowing them to continue their education. So we, along with the young mothers of the Women's Center, we celebrate the right to being educated. We celebrate that tonight, and we invite you to join in with us as we say thank you to a collective system that through an agency of government and by extension, the government of Jamaica and other partners made it possible to provide continuing education despite their pregnancy. That deserves a round of applause. So our collective aim tonight, however, is to raise funds for a truly transformative program. The advancement of secondary, tertiary, remedial education for adolescent mothers. The acronym is A-Stream program, which has already changed lives and shaped futures with its innovative approach. 6 years ago, when I launched the A-Stream program at the first charity ball, it was my intention to provide 40 reintegrated students with a 40,000 bursary. Also, to pair 40 young mothers with 40 mentors. Also, to give 4 scholarships worth $10,000 each to young mothers pursuing tertiary education. We did not know where the initial $2 million we needed to start would come from, but we knew we had to start. So when Dr. Kevin Harvey of AIDS Healthcare Foundation donated the first $1,600,000 to the program and then committed to sponsoring an adolescent father to further his education, we knew we were on the right path because there were people who believed in what we did. So Dr. Harvey, I don't know if Dr. Harvey is here tonight. His team is here. Will you please stand and be acknowledged? Dr. Harvey's team is here tonight. They bought a table. So the A-Stream program grew from that initial seed fund of less than $2 million to collecting approximately $12 million to date, and tonight we hope to raise much more. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Prime Minister, for the initial years of the program, we had more than the projected 4 students who received tuition support to attend tertiary institutions. I would like to highlight 3 of the young ladies, and they are from rural centers. Oshin Gale, who is now an agricultural science teacher at Buff Bay High, Kedra Turner, who completed her first degree at UTech in actuarial science, and Yashika Brooks, a registered nurse now living in Scotland. I want to share a little bit of Yashika's story with you. When she registered at the Women's Center, she was only 14 years old. At that time, there was no A stream. To make ends meet, she used a little money she got from the staff at the Portland Center, along with her savings from selling bag juice, to care for her baby and pursue her secondary education. After she graduated from high school, the A stream program was launched, and she was one of the first recipients to receive tuition support. What makes Yashika's story even more tear-jerking is the fact that months before her graduation, she lost both parents. The Women's Center staff stood solidly behind her as her new family, seeing to it that she had everything she needed for her graduation. Yashika graduated from the University of the West Indies with a nursing degree and worked as a registered nurse at the Anata Bay Hospital. She now lives in Scotland and is doing well in the field of nursing. So Yashika Brooks is just one of many A-stream stories of hope, resilience, and success. Her journey from a 14-year-old struggling to make ends meet to a successful registered nurse in Scotland is a testament to the transformative power of the A-stream program. And I should pause here to indicate that as minister, I have an extremely supportive Prime Minister. And I want you all to put your hands together to show your appreciation, because when I go to the Prime Minister, and sometimes he's so busy and preoccupied with other things, but I'll be there chewing off his ears. And then say, okay, Babsy, I can't tell you no. But the Prime Minister is very sensitive and very appreciative of this program. And he did not hesitate to agree to be the guest speaker tonight. And we truly, Prime Minister, appreciate it. And we hope when you go out the door, you'll be truly impressed. Of course, the Minister of Finance, too. So, like Yashika and Ocean, 14 alumni received tuition support to pursue tertiary level education. 3 adolescent fathers also received tuition support under this program, because we also have to make sure some of the young girls, they were just experimenting, and the young boys, and we felt that we must give support and help those baby fathers to be responsible fathers. Over 150 students at the secondary level received bursaries, and 50 mentors engaged and paired with some of the young mothers. And some of the mentors are here tonight, and I really want to thank you for the support and for taking care of the girls. I say all this, that the program works and has been extremely beneficial to some of our girls. But why stop there? We want more, which is why you are here tonight. Without you, I cannot make this happen. Your contribution tonight will go some distance. However, we need to go much further, leaving no girl behind. By the way, we have the silent auction going, and you're welcome to participate. And there are those of you here, you're welcome to make your contributions. You're welcome to adopt a girl and mentor that girl. You're welcome to make contributions towards our scholarship program. We will not refuse anything that you have to offer. So I'd like to take this opportunity to make a very important announcement. And this is typical of how we work and how we ensure that we make sure that we cross the T's and dot the I's. So there are 3 MOUs that will be signed to build the capacity of the Women's Center. 1, MOU to be signed with the Ministry of Education and Youth for permanent teachers to be employed at the Women's Center to deliver the educational component of the program. 2, MOU to be signed with the Ministry of Health and Wellness for direct referrals of teen mothers to be sent to the Women's Center, arrangement grounded in policy to be instituted whereby the Ministry of Health and Wellness joins the Ministry of Education and Youth to directly refer adolescent mothers to the Women's Center for enrollment in the program. 3, MOU to be signed between the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport and the Ministry of Health and Wellness for partnership to be formalized and strengthened to prevent the action of refusal to provide information to staff of the Women's Center on the grounds of an existing policy of patient privacy being enforced by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. So we're signing an MOU so that when we go to get information on these pregnant teenagers, these girls, that we cannot be told that they cannot provide us with the information because of patient privacy, because it is information that we will need as we protect these young girls. And 4, MOU to be signed with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security for adolescent mothers to benefit from PATH while enrolled at the Women's Center and upon reintegration back into the formal school system. And I should mention here, if there are cases of abuse or incest, we report those cases to the Office of the Children's Advocate, who will then report it to the police. So I do not want to speak much longer because I'm looking forward to the Prime Minister's presentation. But just to say to you that we are very happy that tonight has turned out so well. And I really want to thank everyone for coming. And I hope that at the end of this evening, you will all be convinced that this program needs your full support from here on. We have had young girls, 11-year-old. We have had 14-year-olds having twins. We have had an 11-year-old who has been abused by her grandfather. We have had some really sad cases. But nevertheless, we have held these girls' hands and we have taken them through the trying times that they're experiencing. And eventually, we're able to put them back on track. And they are very appreciative. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it one more time for the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange, OJ, MP. Very hardworking minister. Thank you so much. And now it's time for our keynote speaker. We are pleased to welcome the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, who is steadfastly focused on building partnerships to achieve the vision of shared prosperity for all Jamaicans through inclusive economic growth and meaningful job creation. Leading an agile and responsive government, the Prime Minister is committed to making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and my personal favorite, retire in paradise. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Thank you very much, parishioner, or rather parishioner. Yes, Daly and I are from St. Catherine. The Minister of Finance commented that everyone here looks so well. No, he was saying you are all so well dressed. But then he went on to say, we look so dull in our blue suits. The truth is we wear these almost every day. But it is good to see all of you looking so lovely, so fantastic. You're a beautiful audience and a very attentive audience. Allow me to acknowledge your hardworking minister, Olivia Grange. Your ever supportive Minister of Foreign Affairs, Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is an advocate for gender and women's affairs and children, a very strong advocate in the cabinet, and our hardworking Minister of Finance. And he's here because he cares. It's true. Minister Clark and myself, we have a very tough task. There is a saying which was used quite often in politics in the early 90s, it takes cash to care. And Minister Clark and myself, we have this debate about ensuring that the economy does well so that we can actually do the things that show we care. So we don't just talk about caring, we do the things that really matter to improve the lives of people. Allow me to acknowledge the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, who is here with us tonight, our Permanent Secretary, Denzel Thorpe, Mrs. Debbie Ann Brown Salmon, Chairman of the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation, and other executives of the foundation, members of the public and private sector and non-governmental organizations that are here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, representatives of the media. It's a very good night, or rather, well, it's not a good thing to be addressing you at 10:30. So I will be quick. As I prepared for this presentation, some memories came back of my time in high school. And I recall that there was a young lady in my grade, not in my form, but, well, within my form, not in my grade, who got pregnant. We knew this because she didn't return to school, and we were all asking, and then it was all hush-hush, very quiet, and then we discovered that she was pregnant. She was a very bright girl, my recollection of her. when I was about to do, so this was at CXCs. So when I was about to do A-levels, I met her. She was coming from work with her child. And she looked quite happy. She seemed as if she was doing quite fine. But listening to the stories of success, I couldn't help but wonder how much better she could have done if she was supported in continuing her education. And you have to wonder how many persons, how many young ladies have been deprived the fulfillment of their life opportunities because of early pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, adolescent pregnancy. So, you know, the journey of an adolescent mother is filled with challenges, and we can only imagine, I can only imagine how difficult it must be. And it is not just the loss of the potential for the mother, but consider it an almost inevitable loss of potential for the child as well. So this places into context how important the Women's Center of Jamaica and their work is. It is extremely important. So I want to, with this context, extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who is present here tonight and those who have contributed to making this evening the tremendous success that it has been. Your support is not just a matter of charity, it is a matter of social responsibility being executed in a meaningful way. We are investing in ensuring that our adolescents, our teenagers, get to fulfill their life opportunities and chances. So again, let me thank you all, especially those of you who have contributed to the foundation. It is my opinion that the Women's Center of Jamaica is probably the most meaningful and successful social intervention program of the government of Jamaica. Since its establishment in 1978, the Women's Center has been a cornerstone of hope and resilience for adolescent mothers across our country. Its initiatives have aligned perfectly with our international obligations and national policies aimed at reducing poverty, achieving gender equality, and providing quality education for all. The program for adolescent mothers has provided crucial academic instruction and support for over 53,000 young mothers since its inception. 53,000. In the last decade, 11,262 have been supported to go on to complete their secondary education, some going on to complete their tertiary education through the A-Stream program, which was developed, conceptualized by Minister Olivia Grange. And that's a wonderful program. And to hear of some of the mothers becoming actuaries and registered nurses and doing very well, it's heartwarming. And I want to say thank you personally for that initiative and to congratulate again the Women's Center for being so impactful. It is also of note, as Minister Grange pointed out, that the center takes not just the circumstances of the young adolescent woman, girl, but the young men who sometimes are victims themselves are also treated with and assisted. And I think that that approach is a very good approach, commendable approach. But the question was asked of me while I was being interviewed. What else can the government do? Reflecting on the numbers, 53,000 in 46 years, 11,200 in 10 years, it is still a considerably high number of our youngsters who are getting pregnant in their teenage years. It is still something that we should be concerned about. It hasn't made its way into the national consciousness, and that's probably because of the excellent work that the Women's Center is doing. But it is something that the government should pay attention to, because a large portion, a large number of these early pregnancies arise from harassment, domestic abuse, incest, and molestation from adults. And that has to be addressed, and that is why we have passed the Sexual Harassment Protection and Prevention Act of 2021, and all companies that fall under this, all entities that fall under this act, must now ensure that they have a plan in place for sexual harassment in their institutions. The government's commitment to combating gender-based violence is evident in the amendments to the Domestic Violence Act. The revised legislation empowers courts to issue protection orders and imposes stiffer penalties, including up to 1 year of imprisonment and fines of up to $1 million to deter abusers. Additionally, the launch of the gender-based violence hotline in November 2023 has been significant, receiving over 7,400 calls with 5,227 reports for women, offering a confidential platform for reporting and assistance. And something that I was directly involved in, the establishment of the first 2 government-owned shelters for survivors of domestic violence. And I think this was a pivotal milestone. Minister Grange, when you hear about chewing off my ears, this was one of the initiatives that Minister Grange persisted, and we found the funds, and we executed it over, I believe, 2 or 3 budget cycles. Construction has begun on a 3rd center. And when we heard the stories of, women trying to escape situations of domestic abuse, heartrending. And we didn't have a permanent place that was private, that wasn't well known, that was purpose-built. And it reflected poorly on us as a country. And so we decided that we had to do this. And now we're going to have 3 such centers, and we probably will be doing some more in the near future. But Minister Grange did not invite me here to tell you about what we're doing in legislation and for the copious praises that I have dished out. Minister Grange invited me here to announce that the Factories Corporation of Jamaica, because of their work in St. Thomas, and they visited one of the centers there, that in a collaborative effort with the Morant Bay Urban Center Development, that they will design and build a nursery and other amenities, including a dormitory for the Women's Center there. And more than that, they will adopt it. So the development that is happening, I don't know how many of you have visited St. Thomas and the Morant Bay Urban Center. The song that was so well delivered on stage is very appropriate for St. Thomas. They have been waiting for this change to come. And now they have gotten their new infrastructure and the parish is really booming. And now they are also going to get a new dormitory and a new nursery for the Women's Center. The Minister of Finance and myself, we further collaborated and we agreed, having discussed it with Minister Grange, that what is needed now to expand the services and to make it more impactful would be more dormitories in some areas, because some of the adolescents, the teenagers who have gotten pregnant, their home circumstances are such that they may leave home and get a reprieve in coming to the classes, but when they go back home, it's either uncomfortable or the family situation is such that it's just not cohesive. So we have decided that we're going to make a contribution to the Women's Center for us to start the construction of a dormitory facility in Kingston. So that is the first. We hope we can partner with private sector. We will put up $10 million and I leave it to Minister Grange to throw off somebody else's ears to get the rest. And one final thing I would say, after the COVID pandemic, when we ceased the measures, I noticed that, everything was starting late because people were so used to staying home. So I instituted amongst the cabinet members a fine for lateness. And since 2002, the members of the cabinet who come late have to contribute, depending on how late they arrive. There's a grading system. So if you are, 10 minutes late, you pay $500. And if you're over 10, you pay $1,000 and so on. So we have about $500,000 in the pool. So I've said, and Minister Grange, she's the sheriff, so she collects. So she has there about $500,000. So I think it would be appropriate, Minister Clark, to contribute that to the Women's Center Scholarship Fund to assist the young ladies. So let us be inspired by the stories of resilience and success that we heard here this evening, and carry these stories with us with renewed commitment to the mission of the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation. Let us continue to champion the cause of adolescent mothers, to break down barriers, and to build a future where every young woman in Jamaica can fulfill their dreams and aspirations. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Prime Minister of Jamaica, the most honorable Andrew Holness. Wow, wow. Minister Grange is smiling from ear to ear. I think she knows why she invited the Prime Minister tonight. And she's